It's been said that necessity is the mother of invention. Well, behold, the product of necessity. Let me take you back, show you what I did yesterday. Before I show you what we did, we need to have a little brief overview. Now, do you see that jog in the wall right there? That was by design. That's a 5-foot jog. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to have a clean shop without clutter. Clutter, for me, clutters my mind. Cleanness keeps my mind clear and focused, and I prefer to work it that way. I've never had it right until this time. So, my idea was this. Let's go take a look. Behold. Worthy of a professional homeowner. That is a lot of storage space, and I got all of my stuff out of my work area. Organized where I can see. I've got, should we just do a little inventory here? I just put it in, but what's kind of cool about this is it was a really inexpensive way to make a lot of shelving. There actually, the amount of shelving that we have here on this wall is equivalent to 2 4x8 sheets of plywood, so a 4x16 flat surface, which is quite a bit. Now, I was trying to, I French cleated all of this, as you can see. Now, a French cleat, if you don't know, you can see right here, is a piece of plywood cut on a 45, and you do strips. And I separate mine about every 16 inches or so. I was trying to think of a very simple way, and that was what I came up with for these brackets here. Now, my neighbor had a garage sale last year, and I bought a whole bunch of oak, a 1x6, I think this was, for I probably got like 40 pieces for $100. And I had it sitting around here. I thought, well, that'll be good because it'll be nice and strong. And what's cool about this is you can rip your plywood down to whatever length you need. I had a bunch of 1/2 inch I bought for, eat your heart out, $5 a sheet. Before COVID, I bought a unit of it for just things like this, and I doubled it up. Now I've got 1-inch shelves. And these little guys, if you need a little bit more support, you can just simply take and twist them in, right, anywhere you want. And this plywood is fresh and it's got a little bow in it, but you get the principle, right? It'll all settle down. But this was kind of an unused space that was just gathering garbage. I couldn't even get back in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'll do some louvered panels here and basically put all my power tools and such like skill saws and things where I can actually get at them, where they're not buried in a box somewhere. So when I want something, this is going to be a combination of a tool crib on the right side and then all of my chemicals and oils and all the various things. And I try to keep stuff stocked up. When I saw oil was going up, actually this was a couple of years ago, before COVID, I bought extra filters for everything that I own. So a complete oil change for about everything. And I'm glad I did now. So just a little tour. I'm going to probably do on top, which is 8 feet up there, like manuals and boxes and, just overstock filter and such. And then here I've got just kind of some general greases. And this will be things for cleaning as well. Fuel stabilization, 2-stroke things and for mixing. And then various oil changes will be for the different equipment that we have, from motorcycles to the side-by-sides, etc. I became an AMSOIL dealer so I could get a discount. I should put my AMSOIL number on there. You guys can be my new customers. I love AMSOIL. Once I use up all this stuff, I'll just be switching over to their stuff exclusively. Down here, just these shelves are 8 inches, so it gives me plenty of room. It's a little bit tight, but not too bad. Just things, I put up this here for the brooms. And grab those, and we'll refine it all. But the idea was, the old tool cart, and I thought, well, that fits in here nicely. When you want to do an oil change, you just grab the oil and your wrenches, and then all my filters. I'm still in the process of stocking everything up here. Air filters will be up there, but you get the concept. But it's kind of cool, perfect example where you have lightweight stuff like these filters. We just didn't need all these guys. So I needed an extra one over there where I got heavy, but you can turn them in. They're going to hold a lot of weight. I think it's a pretty good system. Do you want to make one together? Let's go make one together real quick, and then we'll see what happens. The French cleat is an especially good mounting system for the professional homeowner because, well, the professional homeowner is an indecisive type and he changes his mind often, and that way you're not locked into anything. And just to reiterate, if you want to make this for yourself in your shop, 3/4 inch plywood works really well, and you just cut it in strips about 6 inches and rip a 45 on there. Now that's going to go on the wall. As you can see, any accessory you want now just has to have that 45 degree by 3/4 cut in it. So it's really simple. You can add and subtract, you can move things around, super, super versatile. I've just got this oak. You could do this exact same thing with plywood. It would be plenty strong. I'm sure it's no problem, and size it up. If you want 8-inch shelves, you go with the 6-inch bracket. If you want 10, 8. Usually you can have 2 inches of overhang, no problem whatsoever. But it's not really critical, and you wouldn't even have to bob this off here, but do whatever you want to. It's just not that critical. But whatever you do, your first piece, put a P on it, both sides. That means it's a pattern. You don't want to cut and then use different pieces, because every time you get off a little bit, that will be amplified, and pretty soon it won't even resemble your original piece. So always measure. If you're going to use a pattern, use the same one. It's the problem with cloning. It degrades. But just once you make it, put your lines in here. Sharpen your pencil to a point a little bit longer than you normally would, so you can reach into that 45, and that's it. That's all you're going to do right there. We're going to make all these cuts with the table saw and miter saw super fast. You get a production line going, you can cut a bunch of these quick. Start by setting your saw at 45 degrees. You can lay these all out at one time and just leave them about 1/4 inch apart. That way a little bit of room for the kerf, and then make your 45 cut. And then go back to 90. We're going to make a partial cut here. Now, if you have a sliding saw, come all the way back and down and then go into it. But this is critical. Leave the line. Just stay on the outside of the line. Go right up to your point and stop, and then move over, and then you can cut to length. Now we'll go to the table saw. You're going to want to set your saw at a 45-degree angle and set the right height that you want. If you cut them all at the same time, they'll all be consistent. Now, this is a professional homeowner only type of cut. It's not, Safety Sally does not like this style of cut, but if you're careful, and what helps if you do 3 at a time is best. Just let it through here real quick. Watch your fingers. That's a little bit shallow right there. I reset this from yesterday, so it's not quite matching up. It doesn't matter. I went a little bit conservative. There we go. That last little bit in there, you can clean that up with either a chisel or a jigsaw. That's it. The French cleat is a really good way to get your shop, get some organization and get some stuff going on in your shop. Any one of you guys can do this and pick up that wall space. That wall space is so important. When you start putting things on the ground, it just gobbles up space so quickly. So when you look at your shop, you really got to look at it and what's your priority and to put your most important things there. And your counter space is the most important, and that seems to be the one that attracts everything. And I'm moving to a policy that there's nothing that goes on a flat surface unless I'm working on it. And I'm not done for the day until it's put back in its place, so that the next time I want to start a project, I've got a clean slate and I'm not moving stuff around and just dealing with all that frustration. But if you have a garage or a small shop, and even if it's just drywall, you can go buy yourself a dozen sheets of plywood. If you got 3/4 inch plywood, like this, you can make everything. You could make these brackets with it. That's thick enough for your top shelving material. 8 inches is a little bit narrow for a shelf, but for me, I like that because you can go 3 deep on your oil, like your regular Napa oil containers. The 1 quarts will stack 3, Amsoil will stack 2 because they're square, but you can get your big gallon jugs. You can put them endwise and they won't hang over. So it's a good size, especially in a confined area. But go on there, you can go online, you can look on Pinterest and wherever, just do an image search and you can see all sorts of great accessories that guys have built for the French cleat system, you know, from shelves to sanding stations. I've got my sharpening station that I've built several, even for holding mask, you know, paper that you can pull off. It's really a versatile system and that can be added pretty much anywhere. Just go get that plywood, go bite the bullet. You know, it's a little bit expensive right now, but it does give you a lot of shelving. And the nice thing about putting 3/4 inch plywood on your walls is if you want to add a picture, or you want to hang something, or you want to put up some antlers, whatever, you've got enough wood there where you can screw into, and you're not worrying about anchors and pulling out and finding a stud like drywall is. It's very handy. Once you do it, I don't think that there's a better shop surface than plywood. It looks nice. It's got a warm feel to it. You can hang in everything on it. You can French cleat it, and it's probably the best bang for the buck when it comes to finishes, because it's already basically finished. You don't have to do anything to it or seal it or paint it. I'm a fan. Well, tomorrow I think we're going to be getting the forge set up. I've got all the propane stuff. We'll probably mount the propane tanks and get all those fittings in and do that. And we've got to get that concrete painted on there, and we'll probably mix that in as well. So who knows? I never know what I'm going to do till I wake up and decide, but I think we'll probably move in that direction. If you haven't already, take a moment, click the thumbs up. We appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, we invite you to subscribe and keep us in your prayers. We pray for you guys. We'll see you all in the next video.